Money Ape is having a terrible day. The boss said something passive-aggressive in the meeting. The kind of comment that wasn't quite an insult, but wasn't quite not an insult either. You know the one. Interesting approach, with a little smile. That smile. Money Ape spent the next 4 hours replaying that smile in his head, like a movie on loop. Then the commute home was 45 minutes, longer than usual because of some road work that has apparently been almost finished since 2019. Money Ape is sitting in traffic, blood pressure rising, knuckles going a little white on the steering wheel. And then Money Ape gets home and opens his phone, just to decompress, just to relax. And somehow, without fully deciding to, without a plan, without anything resembling a budget meeting with himself, Money Ape has spent $230 on things he cannot fully account for. A jacket, some sneakers that were on sale, a video game he already owns on a different platform, a monthly subscription to something. He's not even sure what. Money Ape closes the app, stares at the ceiling, feels slightly better for about 11 minutes, then feels worse than before. If you have ever done this, if you have ever spent money not because you needed something, not even because you really wanted it, but because the world felt unfair and spending felt like the only thing you could control, then this video is for you. Because today we are going to talk about revenge spending. We're going to talk about why negative emotions don't just make us feel bad. They actually hijack the financial part of our brain completely. And we're going to talk about what Money Ape can do about it. Let's be clear about something first. Revenge spending is not just impulse buying. Regular impulse buying happens when something catches your eye and your brain goes, "Ooh, shiny." Revenge spending is different. Revenge spending happens when something bad happens to you, an argument, a disappointment, a humiliation, a frustration, and your brain says, "The world owes me something, and I'm going to collect right now." It's called revenge spending because you are, in a very real psychological sense, taking revenge on your own life. The boss embarrassed you? You're going to treat yourself. The relationship is complicated? You deserve nice things. The rent went up again. Well, you're going to buy something that feels like a win. It is Money Ape's brain trying to balance the emotional books. Something was taken from you, dignity, peace, control, and your brain wants to take something back. And the easiest, most accessible thing to take back in the modern world is a purchase. One click, done, balanced, except the books don't actually balance. That's the trap. Now here's where it gets interesting, because this is not a willpower problem. This is not a discipline problem. This is biology doing exactly what biology was designed to do, just in the completely wrong context. Here's what happens. When Money Ape has a bad experience, the passive-aggressive boss, the traffic, the argument, his brain registers a threat. Not a lion-in-the-jungle threat, but the brain doesn't really distinguish. Stress is stress, and when stress hits, the brain's emotional center, the amygdala, basically sounds an alarm. It starts flooding the system with cortisol. Cortisol is the stress hormone. It's useful when you need to run from danger. It is not useful when you're trying to make a rational financial decision. And here's the critical thing. Cortisol doesn't just make you feel bad. It actually suppresses activity in the prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain responsible for long-term thinking, planning, consequences, and impulse control. It's the part of your brain that knows you have rent due next week. Under high cortisol, that part gets quieter. It's still there, but it's like someone turned the volume down. Meanwhile, the dopamine reward system is still very much awake and very much loud. And that system is saying, if you buy something, I will make you feel better immediately, right now. I promise. And it keeps that promise. That's the brutal part. It does deliver. For a little while, a purchase genuinely does reduce the cortisol, genuinely does release a little dopamine. Money Ape feels real relief. The problem is that the relief is short, the purchase is permanent, and the underlying stress hasn't gone anywhere. So within an hour, the cortisol is back. But now there is also a credit card charge. Scientists actually have a name for the state Money Ape is in when this happens. They call it hot cognition, as opposed to cold cognition, which is calm, rational, forward-thinking decision-making. Hot cognition is emotional, reactive, present-focused. When you're in hot cognition, you literally cannot think as far ahead as you normally can. Studies have shown that people in emotionally stressed states consistently underestimate future consequences and overestimate present rewards. It's not stupidity. It's neuroscience. Money Ape is not bad with money. Money Ape's brain is just doing exactly what a brain does under emotional stress. Now let's talk about the bananas. Because this is really the heart of it. Money Ape has two kinds of bananas available to him. The first kind, let's call them the golden bananas, are the small, instantly satisfying ones. They taste amazing right now. They're bright, they're sweet, they're right there in front of him. A quick purchase, a little treat, instant relief. These are the golden bananas. The second kind are the real wealth bananas. These ones aren't ripe yet. They're sitting over there, a little further away, and they need time. An investment that grows. A savings account that compounds. A financial decision that pays off in 6 months or 6 years. These bananas are objectively better, more of them, more nutritious, more satisfying in the long run. But right now, when Money Ape is stressed and cortisol is running high, those bananas might as well be on the moon. Because here's what stress does to time perception. When you're in emotional pain, your brain contracts around the present moment. The future shrinks. Researchers have found that under stress, people's temporal discounting increases dramatically, meaning they discount the value of future rewards much more steeply than they normally would. $100 today feels worth way more than $150 in 3 months when you're stressed. The math doesn't change. The brain does. Revenge spending is money. Ape eating every golden banana in sight to dull the pain of right now, without realizing he's depleting the garden that was supposed to grow his real wealth bananas. And the worst part? The more golden bananas you eat in a stressed state, the more your brain learns. When stressed, eat golden bananas. The habit encodes. The next time stress hits, the pull toward spending will be slightly stronger, slightly more automatic. You are not just spending money. You are training your brain. Now let's make sure we can actually recognize this when it's happening. Because revenge spending doesn't always look like obviously reckless spending. It comes in several sneaky flavors. The first flavor is spite spending. This is the most classic form. Someone treats you badly and you go buy something as an act of defiance. Your ex posted a happy picture, so you book a vacation you can't afford to show the world how fine you are. Your family doubted you, so you buy the expensive thing to prove a point. You are spending at someone. The problem is they don't feel it. Only your bank account does. The second flavor is comfort spending. This one is quieter and sneakier. Nothing dramatic happened. It's just been a rough week. Slow accumulation of small frustrations. And somewhere in there, without a dramatic moment you can point to, you've just been slowly spending your way through the sadness. A little here, a little there. The receipts add up, but the mood doesn't lift. The third flavor is fairness spending. This is when your brain says, I work so hard and I deserve nice things. And look, you do work hard. That part might be completely true. But I deserve it is one of the most financially dangerous sentences in the human language because it bypasses every rational calculation and goes straight to emotional entitlement. Money Ape deserves things. But deserving something and being able to afford something are two completely separate conversations that revenge spending refuses to have. The fourth flavor is the most dangerous one, numbing spending. This is when you're not even angry or sad. You're just empty, numb. And spending is not about wanting anything. It's about feeling something, anything. The checkout process gives Money Ape stimulation, agency, a tiny chemical reward. It's filling a void. And this one is dangerous because the purchases are often the most disconnected from any actual desire. Money Ape sometimes can't even remember buying the thing. Okay, so now, Money Ape is thinking, fine, I understand the brain science, I understand the cortisol, I understand the hot cognition. But why does it still feel literally impossible to stop in the moment? Why does knowing all of this not seem to help when I'm actually in it? Great question. And the answer is this. Emotional pain triggers the same neural pathways as physical pain. This is not metaphorical. Studies using brain imaging have shown that social rejection, embarrassment, humiliation, and unfairness activate the same regions of the brain as physical injury. When your boss said that passive-aggressive thing, your brain registered it like a small injury. When the relationship went sideways, your brain felt it like a wound. And what do you do with physical pain? You reach for relief? Immediately, instinctively. Nobody tells someone with a sprained ankle to just have more willpower about reaching for the ice pack. The reach for relief is automatic. Revenge spending is money. Ape reaching for the ice pack on an emotional wound. The ice pack costs $230 and doesn't actually help the wound heal, but in the moment, reaching feels completely involuntary. Because it kind of is. This is also why willpower-only approaches to stopping revenge spending fail so consistently. You can't willpower your way out of a biological pain response. You need a different strategy. All right, practical hacks, real ones. Not the useless advice of just don't spend money when you're upset, because if that worked, you wouldn't be watching this. The first hack is the pause protocol. And it's devastatingly simple, which is why it actually works. Before any purchase made in an emotional state, Money Ape sets a mandatory wait time. Not forever, not a week, just 15 minutes. Set a timer. Walk away from the device or the store. The reason this works is that 15 minutes is usually enough for the most acute cortisol spike to begin leveling off. The prefrontal cortex starts coming back online. In many cases, 15 minutes is enough for Money Ape to realize he doesn't actually want the thing. The urge was about the emotion, not the item. The second hack is called Name the Beast. Out loud or in a note on your phone, you say, I am in an emotionally compromised financial state right now because blank. You name the emotion. You name the cause. I am angry because my boss undermined me, and I want to spend money to feel in control. The act of naming, what scientists call affect labeling, actually reduces activity in the amygdala. You are literally calming your own threat response by putting words to it. It feels silly. It works. The third hack is the replacement behavior. Your brain needs a dopamine hit. That's a genuine need, not a weakness. So find Money Ape a different source. A walk, a phone call to someone funny, a competitive game, exercise. Any behavior that releases dopamine without spending money becomes a competitor to the spending behavior. You're not suppressing the need. You're redirecting it. The fourth hack is the emotional audit. Once a month, Money Ape sits down with his bank statement and doesn't just track the amounts, he tracks the days. Were there clusters of spending on particularly hard weeks? Did the credit card activity spike after certain events? You are looking for your pattern, because once you can see the pattern, you can anticipate it. And anticipation is power. The fifth hack, and this is the counterintuitive one, is to build what psychologists call emotional emergency funds. Not a financial emergency fund, though you should have one of those too, but an emotional one. A pre-built list of things you will do when you feel the emotional spending urge coming. You make this list on a calm day when your prefrontal cortex is fully online, when you can actually think clearly. And then when the bad day hits, you don't have to make a decision. You just open the list. Decision-making under stress is where Money Ape loses. Removing the need to decide is how Money Ape wins. Here's the thing that nobody talks about when they talk about financial advice. And it's this. Every spending habit is also an emotional habit. Every money problem is also a feelings problem. You cannot fix the money without eventually looking at the feelings. Revenge spending exists because something is unresolved. Some wound that doesn't have another outlet. Some frustration that nobody is addressing. Some need that isn't being met. The spending is the symptom. Money Ape doesn't have a shopping problem. Money Ape has a pain management problem, and shopping became the easiest available medication. And here's what's beautiful and hard about this at the same time. Fixing it requires Money Ape to be honest about what actually hurts. Not to be tough about it, not to suppress it, but to actually acknowledge, this thing happened and it genuinely affected me, and I need a real response to that, not a purchased one. That is harder than opening an app and clicking buy. Much harder. But it is the thing that actually works. It is the thing that actually heals the wound instead of covering it with a receipt. Money Ape is not weak for doing this. Money Ape's brain is doing what a brain in pain does. But Money Ape is also not a hostage to his brain. He can learn the pattern. He can build the pause. He can redirect the dopamine. He can do the emotional audit. He can look at the wound instead of shopping around it. And here is the choice Money Ape faces. Every single time. The golden banana is right there. Sweet, immediate, real relief that lasts 11 minutes. It is genuinely appealing, and the brain genuinely wants it, and there is nothing wrong with being tempted by it. But the real wealth bananas are growing, slowly, quietly, in a direction that requires looking away from the immediate pain. They require Money Ape to feel the discomfort of the bad day without medicating it. They require a kind of trust that the discomfort will pass, that the emotion will move through. That the financial decision made on a calm Tuesday will serve Money Ape better than the financial decision made on a painful Friday evening. Which bananas will Money Ape choose today? And the beautiful truth is, he gets to ask that question again tomorrow, and the day after. The science tells us habits are built one choice at a time. The prefrontal cortex gets stronger with practice. The pause gets easier. The pattern gets visible. Money Ape gets better. Not perfect, better. One 15-minute pause at a time. One named emotion at a time. One real wealth banana at a time. Money Ape has got this. And if you're watching this, so do you. If this one hit close to home, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And if you want to keep understanding the brain science behind why Money Ape makes the financial decisions he does, the next video is already waiting for you. See you there.